All right, before you guys call bullshit on me, let me explain this whole thing, because I swear to you, quitting weed has been the smartest move I've ever made. I couldn't wait to smoke weed when I got out of the military, and because I couldn't, right? And so when I did get out and I started smoking, I thought, this is amazing, life's so good, I don't gotta drink, all I do is smoke at night. And we're gonna get into all of that. I'm gonna go over why I started, like, for real smoking, the things I noticed. We're going to get into all of it. And then at the end, I'm going to show you guys why it's so important for you to quit too. And I swear, if no other video could convince you, it's this one. And it doesn't have to just be weed. It could be any of your vices, but this one is specifically going to be a deep dive into weed, because I am literally going through this right now. I'm on day 11. So let's just jump right into it, boys. This is going to be a good one. All right. So here's what I've noticed since I quit smoking weed about 11 days ago. And I say about, but I mean 11 days ago. Okay, I've literally had better pumps in the gym. This is no bullshit. I measured my arms the other day. I wish I took a picture. And they were at 20.5 inches pumped. I have not had a pump that good in, like, I'm not shitting you, a year. And because I remember I was hitting arms on Friday and I thought, dang, I feel like I got a really good pump right now. Little did I know, I did that. That's why I ran to the gym. I ran into the office at our gym, and I grabbed the tape measure, and I measured really fast, and I was like, dude, no way. For real. I could not believe that. So, better pumps, 100%. Better sleep. I've been really busy building my coaching business for the last, the whole year, but like the last 11 days since I quit, I've really locked in. I've been working literally nonstop, 18-hour days, sometimes a little bit more. Like, I've been getting on average 4 or 5 hours of sleep. That's not ideal, but the first week, I won't lie, it was like I could only get 4 hours of sleep. I was just tossing and turning, miserable. This week, I could sleep right now if I wanted to, but I'm making a YouTube video. It's 9:40 at night. I've trained, 5 clients today. I've made content. I've put plans together. I put meal plans. Like, I've been working all day. And the thing is, it's not punishment. I love what I do. Like, I love what I do. But of course, there are boring things in the job. You know what I mean? Just like any other job. But as far as like being a business owner and owning an online coaching business, it's the most fun thing I've ever done. Especially, I actually really enjoy in-person training, even though I will move to get rid of it at some point. I actually am really, really enjoying that right now. So, better sleep. I feel way more stable. I have way better memory. I don't sound like a freaking goldfish moron all the time. I actually feel myself. Like, for those of you that don't know me, let me just kind of like describe myself. Before I smoked weed, I was like very outgoing. I'm introverted, but I can be outgoing. I can get playful. I get excited. I'm goofy, like super goofy. I just don't take life too serious, because like I always say this, but we only get to live it once. And I don't want to be the guy that's serious all the time. I like to have fun. And when I was smoking weed, like, I just kind of lost. It dulls everything. I have more mental clarity than ever. The panic attacks, this one right here, guys, is like the biggest issue that I've had. Like, this is actually the reason why I finally decided, like, enough is enough. This was definitely it. And less heart racing episodes. Like, I would go to take a nap sometimes, because I get up at 4:30 every day. I would go to get up and take a nap sometimes, and just kind of recharge a little bit. And I would just like have anxiety about nothing. My heart would be racing for no reason. And it's just like, it's not worth it. So here's what I was really avoiding. And I've heard this from a lot of other people as far as what they were avoiding and things like that. But like, this is the actual truth. I wanted to just blunt reality. I just wanted to stop thinking and feeling. Like, I just wanted to stop being stressed out about whether clients would stay or go. I wanted to stop stressing out about whether, a client would screw me over or pay me. I wanted to stop stressing out about next month's rent. Like, this year has been a very challenging year for me, and the last year was too. And so I think smoking weed was like, all of your problems do go away, but they don't go away. You ignore your problems, but they don't go away, is really what I should say. And that's kind of what I was doing. Like, I was ignoring my problems, and I was good at that, but my problems weren't being solved. And weed was making me lazy at night. Like I got home at 7:30 tonight. If I was still smoking weed, I would have just smoked weed, and then I wouldn't be making this video right now, which means I would make the video tomorrow. And as a business owner, when you delay things like that, can you see how that would compound? Like imagine if I put just one task off per day, boom, and then tomorrow, now that task gets completed in the morning, but then I put the next task off, boom, and then it just stacks, and before you know it, I've got a week full of stuff that should have been done months ago. And that's how you end up losing in life, because you have to stay on point. So I wanted to do that. It was a stressful time in my life, like I talked about. I just wanted an escape. When I laid down at night, I just wanted to just turn it off, because I'm someone that's always thinking, always thinking. So I understand when people are like, my mind doesn't shut off. That's literally why that's literally why I was smoking, to shut my mind off. It was just so frustrating. I needed to relax. I would always tell myself, well, I needed to sleep. And then I would tell myself, well, it makes me more creative. I need it to be creative. Wrong. Like, all these things ended up being false. But these are like the traps you find yourself in. And then why did I make the decision? Okay, there's a few reasons, excuse me. So in the Air Force, those of you that don't know, I flew on the C-130. And I was a load master. For those of you that don't know, like, it could be anything from loading a Humvee to loading cargo and flying it somewhere to dropping a Humvee out of the back of the cargo compartment to doing what we call a CDS bundle. They're like these little bundles. Almost imagine like 6 Rubik's Cube, but 2 feet by 2 feet by 2 feet, like 6 of them in the cargo compartment, and then they all fly out, right? But it's super dangerous, right? Because you actually are rigging these in flight. So you're climbing over them, and the plane's moving all over, so it's doing this, and you're climbing on them, and you have to get to the back of the plane and then the front of the plane to do all your checks to make sure the plane is good. And it gets very wild, very hectic, and you'd think it was scary. I didn't care at all. I was never scared. We had lots of, in training and stuff, scary landings, where like we slam the runway and come up and then like touch and you're just like, oh my gosh, please don't hold everything stable, because like you're just afraid that if you slam it and then come up and like kind of do one of these, it's very likely that you could hit and kind of like grab the wing, have the wing grab the ground, and just stuff like that just makes you sketched out. But I was not. I was calm, and I used to open the paratroop door for the paratrooper guys run and jump out, and I would literally, like, when I opened the door, just for fun, I would literally hold on to the sides and I would look out. It was just the coolest feeling ever, and I was not scared or afraid. And then one time me and my ex went to a Colorado trip. This is all the way back in 2023. So I had been smoking for a year and a half, and I'd been out of the military a year and a half as well. So I've been smoking every single night for a year and a half, and when I prepped in 2022, I was smoking every single day. So pretty, I guess you'd consider heavy user, but just smoking at night, I would always trick myself and tell myself, it's not that bad. Well, we went to my buddy's, one of my best friends, one of my very good friends that I went to Loadmaster school with, Chavez. We went to his wedding in Colorado, and Colorado was so beautiful, but we wanted to drive because I think we just wanted to save money, honestly. I can't remember exactly. We just wanted to save money, and it was only going to be like, basically we were driving down, we were going to go to the wedding we were going to work out, and then the next day we were going to go to the wedding, and then the very next day, it was basically a weekend trip. And I think it was about 13 hours one way. And I thought nothing of it. I used to love road trips. I mean, I lived in Oklahoma, and then I drove from Tinker Air Force Base all the way to Vandenberg Air Force Base. That was like 26 hours. I did that. I loved that trip. And then I drove from California all the way to Arkansas, and then I eventually drove from Arkansas back to Oklahoma. But in between that, I've driven from Oklahoma to Myrtle Beach. I've driven from Oklahoma all the way to Pennsylvania, where I'm from. And I love road trips. I love just, let me put on a Joe Rogan podcast and just drive, because there were always transformative times in my life, because a lot of times when I was moving places, it's like you close one chapter and you're about to open the next, and you just think about all the good stuff that happened in the state you were in previously, and you reflect on all the things you want to do in the next state, and and you kind of leave the bad parts behind and enhance the good parts, and you really try to change yourself. And a lot of that transformation happened on the road trip. I truly think that transformed me as a person. Had I just flown from Oklahoma to California like that, I don't think you'd really have time to process it. I think you would just get there and not really think about what's going on, because you got to think like you're leaving your friends, you're leaving sometimes girlfriends behind. I don't mean plural, I'm not a hoe, but like you're leaving a lot of these connections behind, and it can be sad. Like I've cried on the way, just natural stuff. Like I'm not some soy boy by any means, but I think it's very natural to be sad about closing a chapter of your life. The places you went, the people you met, your first duty station. Like it can be hard, but then you get excited about what's next. What's California like? Because you don't go to these places normally before. You're just like, I'm driving to California, my next home. Like I have no idea what to expect. And it can be crazy like that, but it's also exciting. And I think that's, in the military, you get so addicted to that. And that's why, like, even though I live in Oklahoma now, like, I can move like that. I don't care. And that's good and bad, right? But anyways, on this Colorado trip, we were maybe 6 hours in, and all of a sudden I just felt like we were on a very, in the middle of nowhere road. I think it was in, like, New Mexico. And if you've driven New Mexico, like, it's just mountains way, way, way far away, and you're just kind of cruising, and it was hot. And all of a sudden, I just got hit with this, like, I almost felt like I was in the ocean, just floating. I felt out of control. I felt like my chest was tight. I felt like I wanted to panic, right? But at the time, I didn't want to tell my ex-girlfriend this, because I was like, I don't know what's going on. And you get in this thought loop that's like, oh my God, you need to pull over. Something's going on. You got to stop. You have to pull over. But then I'm like, okay, I'll just pull over and just chill for a second. And then I'm like, no. If you pull over, you're going to freak out even more. And then how are you going to keep going? And you're driving a stick shift car, and your girlfriend can't drive stick shift. So how are you going to get moving again? You're never going to get moving. You're in the middle of nowhere. If you pull over, that doesn't solve anything. You've got to keep going. You've got to push on. And it's just this constant, and I'm not kidding, it was the worst 12 hours of my life ever. I never want to experience that again. And a trick that I used to do is like pinch myself, right? Because it'd just be like, if I pinch myself, I wouldn't think about that. I'd think about pinching myself. But then you get into a thought loop about that. Well, if I let go of pinching myself, well then I'm going to release. And then that means like, I'm going to let go, right? Which means I'm going to let go of control. If I'm pinching myself, I have control. And if I let go, then I don't have control. And if I let go, I'm going to throw up. I'm going to panic. I'm going to freak out. Oh my gosh, like I'm stuck in this car and I'm trapped in here, and your mind just goes and goes and goes and goes. And I could not escape the thought loop. So literally for 12 hours, I was just sitting there just like hating my life. And my ex at the time was like, what's wrong? And I'm like, nothing's wrong. Everything's cool. But I felt like I couldn't talk. I felt trapped in my mind. That was the most miserable feeling ever. And I honestly couldn't put my finger on why. And as soon as we got to the hotel, I smoked because I was so stressed out. Like, I was just like, you're drained from that. You just feel like miserable. And we finally made it. I pushed all the way through, which I thought would make it better. I thought, well, this sucks, but I'm facing my fear. So I thought on the way back, like, I just proved I can do it. I just did 13 hours without freaking out. On the way back, there was an exit. I pulled over, and I was like, dude, I don't know. And I finally told my girlfriend, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I don't. And she's like, well, I can't drive stick. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. I don't know. I don't know if I can do this, but I have to. Because I was literally so desperate. I was about to just look up rural roads, because for some reason the highway trips me out, but like back roads don't trip me out. But it's really not that. It's if there's no trees around, if there's nothing around, I feel like I'm in the ocean. It's so bizarre. And I just felt like a loser. And then the final straw, because I told myself a lie for a long time, because I don't travel a lot now. I really have no reason to. That was just a special occasion. But, the final straw for me was I was supposed to go to the comedy club with some friends, and they don't even know this, because it's so embarrassing. But now I'm sharing it with the world, because, that's not embarrassing. No, like this year when I started creating content like this, I just decided that people are going to say what they're going to say. And I'd rather stand for something than stand for nothing. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of cowards out here and a lot of people afraid to talk about their feelings. But I know that there's people out there experiencing this. And if it helps somebody, then it's worth it. Make fun of me. I don't care. I don't care. But I was supposed to go to the comedy club. It was only like 30 minutes away. It was a comedian I really wanted to see. Now, thankfully, thank God, it turned out being a crappy show. But I didn't go. I literally remember for some reason, it was just one of those nights. I could just feel I was panicking. My heart was racing, and I could tell. I was about to get on the highway, and I could tell, like, I'm going to freak out. And as soon as I got on the highway and got up to speed, boom, I started to freak out. I literally immediately got off the next exit, and then I was like, okay, well, I'll just take back roads. Well, normally it would take 20 minutes to get there, right? Because it's just highway, straight highway. And I was like, well, if I go back roads, it's going to take me an hour. And I was literally going to be, like, I was already running late. So I was going to be an hour late, and they were trying to hold my seat. And I was like, you know what? Forget it. And I kind of did it to punish myself on purpose, because I was like, this is the slap in the face I need. I need to miss something that I really want to go to so that I understand that living like this is not okay. And for years in the back of my mind, it was like, it's definitely weed. It's definitely weed. But just like some of you guys right now are telling yourselves, no. Because even 4 weeks ago, I've seen videos on YouTube that's like, yo, quit smoking weed. And I would just be like, I'm not even going to watch it because that's stupid. And really, I wasn't watching it because I was afraid of what they would say, kind of like this. Now, I'm the guy making the video. And that's when I just was like, dude, I went from flying in airplanes, loving road trips, to just like, I feel trapped in my own state. Like, I feel trapped here, and I hate it because it's like, there's things I want to do in Texas that are fun. Like, there's places I want to go and things, just stuff, And I was just absolutely tired of feeling like a loser and feeling trapped, and that's just no way to live. So I was like, you know what? It's got to be weed, so I'm going to stop. I did some research, and I found out that a lot of people have this. A lot of people. It's basically like weed hijacks your neurotransmitters. I might get this wrong. Like, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor, okay? I am not a doctor. But it basically hijacks it, and it rewires your brain. Like, literally rewires your brain to just work differently. And what I will show you guys at the end is absolutely going to blow your mind if you don't know about it. So that was the final straw. Now, how did I make the change? Honestly, to be honest with you guys, it was in 2 phases. Phase 1, I quit smoking during the day because when my girlfriend and I broke up early in the beginning of this year, I was having a hard time, and I just didn't want to feel anything. And so I was smoking all day, and I was like, whatever, like, who cares? I was mainly working from home at that time. I didn't have a ton of clients. I literally made $0 in January. Because I gave everything away, I was still working my butt off, but I was giving everything away for free. And then phase 2, I just quit smoking cold turkey. Honestly, there really is no other way, because you cannot detox from something if you're having it. Even if you're having a hit, you cannot detox from something. So I was like, I have to just quit cold turkey. And I know that like sounds impossible, but guys, I'm going to show you some strategies and some things you can do if you really want to kick it. But honestly, it is going to come down to mental toughness, but this right here is so important. You've got to have something that is like, fuck it, I'm done. You know what I mean? You've got to have that moment that makes you wake up. Because I reflect back now and I go, I will not have another Colorado trip. I will not have a comedy club mishap. I've driven to Dallas and freaked out the whole way. I'm like, I hate this. I want to travel. I want to see different places, and I can't. I can't fly like this. I mean, I can, but it's just absolutely miserable. So I knew I had to make the change, and I would suggest just reflecting on your life. Honestly, just get disgusted with yourself. And I made a video for myself that's basically like, hey, dude, this is not fun. And I made it when I was feeling that. So like, if you're still smoking, make it when you're upset with yourself, and then watch it when you feel like you need some motivation, I guess. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. And really, like, I would suggest, don't just try to go cold turkey, because the side effects or the withdrawals are so bad, and people will tell you that they're not. They're so bad. Not that you want to like kill yourself or anything, but they're very, very bad. And if you quit smoking during the day, it's rough. Like if you go from smoking during the day to not smoking at all, it's very rough. So I would suggest, cut smoking from the day for a month, and then move into quit cold turkey. That's what I would do. And it worked for me. Now here's what will happen. You will 100% tell yourself, oh, I'm being too extreme, my friends smoke weed, so-and-so says it's okay, blah, 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 blah. Do not believe that bullshit. That is the weak-ass voice, what we like to call, David Goggins, Andy Frisella, call the bitch voice, okay? That's your little bitch voice inside. That's your little beta male, all right? Do not listen to that voice. That is not cool. Okay? You're going to tell yourself, well, I need to sleep for a meeting I have. I need to sleep for a project I have. Listen, I'm working 18-hour days. You think I didn't need to sleep last week? Absolutely. But I know because what I said was, what's more worth it? Losing a couple hours of sleep for a couple weeks or never being able to travel again because you're having panic attacks? No brainer, right? And then you'll tell yourself, well, I need it to be creative. Maybe you're an artist. Maybe you're someone that creates content. I have to create content for marketing, and to help you guys. Maybe you write a blog. Maybe you have a daily vlog. I don't know. Maybe you're in marketing and you work at a marketing firm. And you think I need it to be creative. Maybe you play music. That's bullshit. You're actually way less creative when you smoke weed. And I found that out myself the hard way, I guess you could say. You'll tell yourself the addiction, it's not that bad because I only smoke at night. That's the biggest trap there is. You'll tell yourself it's not bad because you're only smoking at night when that couldn't be more far from the truth. You'll tell yourself it's not an addiction because that's what we learned in school, right? Or we didn't really learn that in school, but everyone would be like, dude, it's just weed, chill out. It's not like I'm doing cocaine. I was that guy that thought that. And I will show you guys at the end how much worse this is to detox from than many, many drugs that you guys know very well, right? That we've been warned about. Now, how can you prepare? Honestly, I do face dunks because the cold water kind of snaps your system back. It brings you back to reality. But any kind of cold water, cold plunge, a face dunk. I take magnesium at night to help me rest, relax, recover, sleep. L-theanine. Ashwagandha. You can do light cardio. If I get real restless, I'll just walk in my literally my kitchen in my living room. You can take walks outside to kind of get grounded, and then practice deep breathing. Deep belly breathing is you can look it up, but it's when you want to breathe all the way down, way below where you think your stomach is. Probably 5-6 inches below your belly button is where you want to be breathing. And I have tried this trick before. It does work, but you have to focus, at least in the beginning, because if you don't stay focused and you start to focus on other weird things, then you'll forget about your breathing and you just go right back into it. I've also heard you could count back, you could start at 100 and count back by 7. Anything to just kind of get your mind thinking about something that's not the road or whatever. But the problem with me in the beginning is it's so overbearing that even counting, as soon as I stop counting backwards like that, I go right into panic mode. So there is good news though. It will get better. What you would do is I like to call them yellow light days. If I know that I'm having a harder time, maybe even more anxious that day, because it will go in waves, and we're going to go over this. I'm going to show you guys the full breakdown because it's going to take, guess how many days? It's double digits. You could guess right now, and we're about to get to it real soon. Takes double digits to detox from weed. Double digit days. And I'm not talking about, you'll see. Almost triple. Actually, scratch that. It's triple digit days. Triple digit days to get rid of this. That's insane. But the good news is, guys, it goes in waves. We're going to go over all that. It does get better. But when you have a yellow light day, I just plan to take a little bit more time. I'm okay, if I'm going somewhere, I'm going to plan an hour ahead. And if I feel real stressed out about it, I'll just take the back roads. Because clearly, when I fought through it to get to Colorado, it did not help me. So I won't do that right now. And from the research I've done, it doesn't actually help you to do that. So I wouldn't recommend it. Because it just makes you miserable. And if you can just for 30 days, 60 days, 90, just get through it and just tell your friends, hey, I'm taking a break for me. Because I'm telling you guys, it's worth it. It's worth it. All right, now here, we're going to get into crazy facts about detoxing from weed. This is the overall timeline, guys. The overall timeline. So that means just in general. Days 1 through 7 is the worst withdrawal. You have anxiety, irritability, cravings, physical symptoms, and they peak, right? Now this, I will tell you guys, it's from ChatGPT, but it's just because it does a really good job of summarizing things. But I've done all this individual research as well. But I don't want to bore you. This isn't like more plates, more dates or anything crazy. I just want to show you guys the overview of how bad it is. Day 8 through 14, the physical relief begins. Sleep problems and mood fluctuations remain. Honestly, I would say my anxiety is worse this week, but it comes on super strong and leaves super strong. So like, there was an hour this week where I had a hard time driving to the gym to train my clients, and the entire hour I trained one of my clients, I felt like I could panic at any time, which is, I hate that. So it does get kind of worse before it gets better, but then you'll see 15 to 21, continued improvement, residual psychological symptoms, 22 to 30, most withdrawal complete, sleep and cravings persist, 31 to 60, long haul adjustments, cravings and sleep issues diminish over time. So you're still dealing with cravings and sleep issues. 31 to 60 days. 61 to day 100, you have a stabilized state, symptoms minor and manageable, major improvements achieved. After 100 days. Okay, now we're going to look at something else. We're going to look at the anxiety and panic attack. This is what I was dealing with. And I still am, right? This is exactly what I was talking about. 1 through 7, severe anxiety, frequent panic attacks, restlessness. Absolutely, 100% spot on. Day 8 through 14, this hit me like right around day 9. It was still intense, right? But it is more wave-like. Like, for example, I got on the highway the other day, everything was cool, and then, boom, freaking out. I needed to get off right away. The sleep being poor, I've honestly not noticed because I've been working 18-hour days. So when I lay my head down, like I get up at 4:30, like I said, it's 10 o'clock. It's probably 10:30 when I get to sleep. When I lay down, I'm out. Days 15 through 30, improvements begin. Triggered anxiety remains. I'll be looking forward to that. Except for the triggered anxiety, that sucks. 31 to 60, low-grade anxiety, fewer panic attacks, more clarity. That's exciting. Now look at this. Day 61 to 100, occasional anxiety, mental state feels stable. That's after 100 days. Like, do you guys understand how insane that is? All from smoking grass. And this is another one for brain fog, right? Because I've noticed that too. Day 1 through 7, very heavy fog, low focus, slow thoughts. It literally it felt like thinking of like trying to be creative was like one of the hardest things for me to do, right? And then 8 through 14, lingering fog, short clear moments. That's what I'm going through now. 15 to 30, noticeable improvements in mental sharpness. That's awesome. 31 to 60, consistent clarity returns, but it's still improving after 60 days. And then again, after 100 days, do you only feel clear, focused, and mentally strong again? That is absolutely nuts. Now, this is going to be the one that's going to blow a lot of people's minds, this last slide. And if this doesn't convince you how bad it is for you and your body, I don't know what will. I literally don't know what will convince you. Okay, from other hard drugs, you can see weed, mild to moderate, 2 to 3 weeks. It can last 30 to 100 days. It's a long emotional detox, and it takes brain recalibration. Cocaine is only 1 to 3 days. It's only 1 to 2 weeks. It's a fast crash and intense mood issues, but it's short-lived. 2 weeks? That's nothing. Alcohol, 3 weeks tops, anxiety, depression, and sleep issues. Now, this one can be dangerous physically, so I get that, but still, like 3 weeks? Guys, I'm 12 days in. I would be almost done with this. I'd be almost done with an alcohol detox, but with weed, I'm not even 10% done, right? And then opiates? So you're telling me heroin and OxyContin, okay, for 2 to 4 weeks, you're an emotional roller coaster, but then after that, that's it. That's literally it. That's crazy. So you could do heroin instead if you guys wanted, and then you could just chill for 4 weeks and be good to go. Now, I'm not saying it's as easy as a detox because it's going to hit harder, but it's not near as long. Not near as long. And then you have benzos like Xanax and stuff like that, I guess. This one's pretty long, dude. 3 to 12 months. Very, very slow brain, like, and it can be life-threatening. Don't even touch that. That's actually insane. And how many people are on Xanax? Dude, that's literally, here we go. Meth, 5 to 10 days for the physical crash, 1 to 3 months for full dopamine recovery. For full dopamine recovery. It says right here it can last 100 plus days. That's way more than 3 months. I mean, like, so meth you can recover from faster, opiates you can recover from faster, and cocaine. How crazy. Because in the DARE pro, like now weed is legal. You can do it. Right? Cocaine, opiates, benzos, meth. Okay, forget benzos, but meth, opiates, and cocaine are not legal, right? And they're shorter detox times. And here's a little real talk from former users. People who quit both weed and harder drugs often say the heroin detox was hell for 5 days. Weed detox was 100 days of feeling like I don't know who I was. I don't know how it can get any more serious than that. Like, that's seriously horrible. The heroin detox was hell for 5 days. Weed was 100 days. And that's why, guys, like, I honestly, after seeing this, it's so eye-opening. Because in the beginning, if you guys have seen some of my other videos, I was like, oh, I'm just going to detox for 30 days and see how I feel. Because I figured 30 days is fine. Wrong. You've got to stay away from it for a long time. And you can't take a single hit or you got to restart. And I know some of you are going to watch and be like, well, I can cut corners. That's not a big deal. One hit, you're full of shit. Dude, weed is so bad. I've noticed, okay, I couldn't breathe out of this side of my nose for literally like 2 years. And I've noticed that I was doing legs the other day, and I noticed I can breathe out of both sides of my nose 100% perfect, and it's because of the inflammation. My inflammation went down so much that my face is better. People have said my eyes are brighter. This is down. All this inflammation is down. I used to wake up and it was like, just like puffy. Not that extreme, but like literally it was like this. Super puffy, and I couldn't breathe out of my right side of my nose to the point where I thought I needed maybe surgery. That's insane. So again, like, I'm just saying, like, this has helped me. You know, I am prepping for my last bodybuilding show, and this is going to be a superpower in my tools, like in my tool bucket. In my toolbox, because like, it's a superpower. My business has grown. My relationships have gotten better. I feel like I'm more myself. And most important, I am so much closer to God now. Something that's been super important to me this year is if I feel like it disrupts the frequency, the connection that God and I have, right, then I don't do it. Everything that gets in there, like things that you guys might be doing still, like vaping. Vaping is a disruptor between you and God. Smoking weed is a disruptor between you and God. Drinking alcohol is a disruptor between you and God. Watching porn is a disruptor between you and God. Anything that God does not approve of, and you know it because you know it in your heart, is a disruptor, a direct disruptor between your relationship and his relationship. And I'm telling you, because I've lost that relationship before, the last 2 years, before this year, the last 2 years, I didn't have God. I didn't talk to him. I didn't pray to him. I thought I could do it all on my own. I thought I don't need God to make money. How ignorantly stupid, right? And I think a large part of it is because of the weed, and it literally like rewires your brain and it makes you think different. And it's just like, guys, I don't know how else to say it. This has absolutely changed my life. This has absolutely made me closer to God. And that's why this year, like, I quit vaping. I quit smoking weed. I started waking up on time. I think because I honestly quit a lot of stuff this year because I'm just sick of it, guys. I don't know if you're sick of it, but I'm sick of being in the same place every year. This is the year that I'm changing my life, and I'm trying to help as many people as I can change theirs. And I am doing a bodybuilding show at the end of the year, and I used to smoke every day in prep, and I will not do that this year, no matter how hard it gets, because I know who I am when I smoke, and I know who I am when I don't, and I need to stay locked in because everything is so much better. And after seeing this 100-day chart of how long it's going to take, do not come at me and try to fool yourself and say it's not going to take that long. I've talked to several people that have had panic attacks like me on the highway, and they say the same thing. They're like, yo, it took months and months and months, and then I finally did not feel that way. And I would pay any amount of money right now to not feel that way, because I'm feeling like you're trapped somewhere, or like, you know, people are like, yo, do you want to go, I don't know, do you want to go float the river in Texas? And you're like, you really want to, but you're like, can someone drive me? What kind of shit is that? Right? So, I mean, I just really hope this wakes some of you guys up. I know that if I saw a video like this 30 days ago, I would have said it's bullshit. So like I am you, I am that guy. And I have plenty of friends that are still tricking themselves, but I have plenty of friends right now that have seen me and they're like, yo, if you can do it, I can too. Amen, brother. Amen to that. God, and just remember, like, just because you're faithful and God loves you, it doesn't mean this is going to be easy. But it does mean when it gets hard, pray to God, ask that He's there with you. I always am asking. I'm like, Lord, I hope you see me. Please hear me. You know, I need your help. This is a hard day. Please show me a sign. Please let me know this is not worth it. And it's not. And it's not. And I'm so glad to share this message with you guys because, trust me, like, I even told a buddy the other day, I'm like, this kind of sucks, man, because I can't drink because that ruins your physique. I can't smoke weed because that's definitely not good for you. I'm not going to do any other drugs, right? So now I'm like, man, you mean I have the raw dog life? But guys, the thing is, like, we're so messed up as a society. We think there's something wrong about that. We literally think there's something wrong about not doing drugs. How crazy is that? Like, you got to have some sort of vice. Why? Why? We have God. And if we're made in God's image, why do we need vices? Like, and so I've just been chipping away at them. This is one that I've chipped away at, and I will still update you guys on this, but I just wanted to share it with you because it's seriously affected my life in the best way possible now that I've quit. I literally get better every day. I feel better every day. I get better sleep. I have better dreams. Like, it's been transformational and it's life-changing. And it's one of those things, just like diet. It's just like I always tell my clients, like, hey, if you just give me a solid week, we won't even need to talk because you're going to feel so good after that week. You're going to want to stay on your plan, right? It's the same thing with this. If you guys just quit for a week, you're going to have so much energy. You're going to be so productive. Yes, your sleep is going to suck, but everything else in your life is going to be so much better that you're not going to want to ever go back. And I promise that. I mean, if you really actually quit and try, I promise you're going to feel better. So, you know, if this, I hope it was helpful. If you're still tricking yourself, please don't trick yourself anymore. Please wake up. I'm asking you because I was you guys, all you guys that are saying in your head, like, I don't need this right now and blah, 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 and it's not the right time. Listen, I was you 3 weeks ago, and when I missed the comedy club, that's when I said, fuck this. I am absolutely done. And I just hope that I can help some of you too. And if you guys are looking for a little bit of other help or guidance, right? Go ahead and follow me on Instagram. I link it in the description all the time on every single video. I post stories all the time on there so that you guys can go ahead and see, you know, how my lifestyle is. And I talk about this stuff in little waves as far as like how I'm feeling and what's going on and stuff like that. I talk about it all the time so that you guys can hopefully relate to that and know that I'm a real person. And if you see this today and you're wondering, go check out my Instagram. You'll see. You'll see. I talk about stuff every single day that I'm going through, and I love sharing it with you guys. But like I said, I am prepping for my last show, my very last bodybuilding show, and this is absolutely going to give me a superpower as far as the pumps and the clarity. And like I've turned into a machine, and I want you guys to turn into a machine as well. But that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Let a buddy know, a friend know, a family member know if this is something that can help them, if this channel is something that can help them, inspire them, move them, change them. Please, please share it with them because I've been so blessed and I truly believe that God put me on this mission to change, you know, as many lives as I can. Now, do I think that I'm like, you know, Gandhi or something? No. But I think that we all need to do our part. We all need to praise God in our own way. And I truly think that we all need to bring God out in our own way using our gifts. That's something that I learned, and God blessed me with that message when I went to church. When I went back to church for the first time, He blessed me with that beautiful message. And ever since then, I've been on this mission to just basically share God with people, but also transform lives through the help of God, through me, because it's my mission. It's what I'm good at. I'm good at being a leader. I'm good at helping people get out of, you know, hard situations. And I'm good at just not preaching it, but walking the walk. And so if you guys ever need anything, just know, like, you're not alone. If you're quitting, let everybody know in the comments. Guys, if you're in the comments, please cheer each other up, you know, hype each other up, be with each other. You know, I will be creating probably a group pretty soon, maybe in the next couple months, where everyone can join. And then, like, I'll have an elite level course for my one-on-one mentorship people. But there's a lot of big stuff coming, a lot of cool stuff. And I'm ready to help you guys become the 1% better. You know, like I said, using my gifts that God gave me so that I can bless you guys as well through him. Because guys, no matter how big my business gets, no matter how many people I help, please just know it is not Michael Shear. It is not me doing it. I'm just a vessel. It is God doing all of these things, and I could not thank him enough. So thank you, God. And I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one.